Greetings servers and hello. Thank you for tuning in, and it's great to have you with us. As you can easily tell from the background and the leaves on the ground, the cold season, autumn and winter, has definitely arrived. And with that comes the season in which we no longer enjoy car care quite as much. Especially when we don't have our own wash bay and have to go to the self-service box. Why? It has become cold. It is cold outside, the water we wash with is cold. It simply isn't a very pleasant job anymore. And that's why I want to show you a way in this video to improve it a little bit. Because we all have a nail in our heads, we are disturbed. We don't want to just let our car get dirty in autumn and winter. And that's why we still want to wash it. And that's why I want to present you a method in this video on how we can make this wash a little more pleasant, which, to be honest, isn't that complicated at all. Our journey actually begins unusually at home at the sink. I have a wash bucket here. You see, there is a dirt trap in it, but you could also leave it out for this washing method. I have a total of 5 regular-sized wash mitts here, wash pads, and I also have a small wash pad. This one is from Surfaces, but there are also ones from chemicalworkz and Sonax here. I throw them all in here, and then I take this and the Sink 2001, and then I have really hot water set up here now. And then, it's not about filling the wash bucket completely. It's about making sure that we have soaked all the wash mitts as completely as possible with enough water. Because we are going to the wash box later, and if you now, for example, if you don't have a lid for this wash bucket, then we still have to transport it to the wash box somehow in a way that we don't spill all the water in the car. And that's why it's really only about soaking these wash mitts. A little bit of water can be at the bottom. The wash mitts will absorb the rest, but then we have prepared everything accordingly. If your regular wash box offers it, you can of course fill the wash bucket directly at the wash box. Your regular box has not only water but also warm or hot water, and what I have here is 2021, which makes the whole thing very, very pleasant. Next, air gloves. No, these are not lined. Gloves or special gloves designed for keeping warm, but it still helps to wear such nitrile gloves to keep some of the cold away from our hands. Now for the wash, you can use any car shampoo you want. I personally say that in autumn and winter, I want something a bit stronger, and I use Labocosmetica primers. It can be used as a pre-cleaner or a snow foam alkaline, but it can also be used in the wash bucket at a dilution ratio of 1:400. I'll link you to a video up there that I made which refers to a table containing all the dilution ratios of Labocosmetica products, where on the second page there is also a dilution calculator that states that for a wash bucket with 10 liters of water, a ratio of 1:400 means we need to add 40 ml of this product. Now I don't have a measuring cup here, but I have this cap. One cap is 10 milliliters, which means 4 of these caps. And then I have that in here as well. The 40 ml that I need, and that's all. Don't need more of the product in here. What I am additionally doing now, in case you can't get water at your self-service box, and if you also don't have a lid, and can't or don't want to bring water from home. That means you just have the damp gloves in here. Everyone should be able to quickly hold the gloves and the water. Let's assume you don't have any water in here. Then there is an additional option for how we can keep our hands a little warm. I have a pressure sprayer here, and inside it I have warm or even hot water. And I also add Labocosmetica primers to it in a ratio of 1:400. 1 liter of water at a ratio of 1 to 400 means I need 2.5 ml. Is that correct? 2.5 ml? Yes, that's correct. That's a tiny little splash. Not measuring that exactly. I'm just adding a little bit to it. So that should be fine. I'm realizing that if the ratio is 1 to 400 for 1 liter of water, then for 10 liters of water, it would be 25 milliliters. You see, I calculated it wrong in my head again. I should have relied on the table. I mentioned earlier and not tried to calculate it in my head. There should have actually only been 25 milliliters in here, not 40 ml, so I concentrated it too much. But for this video and in this case, it doesn't matter. I can and I am allowed to use this for washing anyway. So I have warm or hot water in here now. I have warm or hot water in here and can now start washing. But I would like to point out another option to you first, namely this here, the wash broom. Those of you who have a large, tall car will already know this, as it is an absolutely essential tool. You can also adjust the length here. It is from chemicalworkz, and of course, such a wash broom means that we don't have to touch the water at all, because we have the microfiber cover on the front. This is of course excellent for keeping our hands warm. But realistically, one must say that this microfiber wash broom works really, really well on a roof. By the way, the Labo Cosmetica Primus also glides wonderfully, despite only having 25 or respectively 40 ml here in the wash bucket. It works wonderfully on the roof. You can do that. But if you only have a cover for a broom, you will need to have a wash bucket with a dirt trap or 2 wash buckets. That's the first point. And secondly, it gets a bit more complicated on the side. And at the front of the grill, where you have those fine spots, you can't really reach them well with a wash broom. That's why I wanted to show you the option with the wash broom again at this point, explain it and point it out to you. But in this video, we are focusing on what to do if we don't have such a wash broom. Option 1 or case 1, you now have warm water in here. This makes it very, very pleasant. And above all, you have several wash mitts. In winter and autumn, when it's cold, we are especially concerned with finishing as quickly as possible. That's why no 2-bucket washing method, much too complicated. I prefer to have several wash mitts in the bucket. I take one out and I always have 2 sides on a wash mitt. For 90% of the cases, I have that. For example, I wash over this component, turn the wash mitt around, have a fresh side here, and wash over this door here. You can also see that I always start at the top and finish at the bottom because there is more dirt at the bottom. This way, the wash mitt stays clean longer. And as soon as I have washed over this one component, now at the very end, you can see that I have quite a bit of dirt in it. I turn it around again and wash over here at the very bottom once more. So, I set it aside here, not back in the bucket, because this way the bucket stays clean for as long as possible. In fact, it's not just as clean as possible for a long time, but it stays clean all the time because I never go back in with a dirty mitt. But I always get a fresh mitt. These mitts are always warm or hot because they are floating in warm water. And this way, I actually, or at least theoretically, never get cold hands when I do it this way in winter. This is a nice option for me on how I can wash my car in autumn and winter when it is cold or getting cold. Variant 2. Now we have here, let's just imagine we have here 2001, not warm water, but we only have damp wash mitts. For that, we have hot or warm water here. Take out the damp wash mitt. Wait, I squeeze it out so that it is a realistic case. So, it is only damp. That would be too little water and shampoo that I have here. No shampoo at all. It is only dampened with water, so I would clean over it, but I wouldn't have a lubricating film. This would inherently carry a higher risk of scratches. And now I go here with this pump sprayer where the water shampoo mixture is in. I go ahead. You can also adjust it a bit so that a good amount comes out. Spray the wash mitt and also spray the area to be treated. Of course, one must mention at this point that we still always do a proper pre-cleaning or pre-wash. That means we spray the car with snow foam or a pre-cleaner, let it work, and then rinse it off. This is very, very important for the second step. And then I can go ahead and wash over this, and I only have the warm wash mitts in my hand again. Use and I have warm water from the pump sprayer. And that way I can wash the car too. Here again, I always have two sides. As you can see, there is a lot of dirt in them. I always have two sides of the wash mitt, and this way I can go ahead and wash the entire car piece by piece, step by step, component by component. 2001 without my hands getting cold. And again, when I have used it, I set it aside, not back in the wash bucket. This way, I always have clean mitts in the wash bucket. Now we have shown you winter washing methods on this channel several times, and usually they were more contactless. I will link a nice video up there that I made with a 4-step winter washing method. However, it was also intended to work contactlessly or with such wash brushes here. But all these methods have limitations, because a classic hand wash is still the most thorough way to clean our car, even in winter. What this video is about with this washing method is how we can wash our car in winter easily, quickly, and without hassle, without freezing our hands. It was only about this specific aspect. And the nice thing is we don't need much. Mainly need a wash bucket to transport the wash mitts. We need several wash mitts, and then you have two options. Either you fill warm water into the bucket at home, maybe even have a lid for this wash bucket, and can then transport it to the self-service box. Or you just dampen the wash mitts at home, transport them to the self-service box, and then fill in water. And if you don't have any of that or can't do it, just get a pump sprayer, put warm or hot water in it, and then add a suitable car shampoo or pre-cleaner. Attention, if you use a pre-cleaner, make sure it is one that is designed for mechanical washing like the Laba Cosmetica Primus. And then you spray the wash mitts and the component at the self-service box and wash over it again. So it's mainly about warmth in winter and autumn when it's cold outside or at the self-service box. If the video was helpful, informative, exciting, and interesting for you, feel free to give us a thumbs up, support the channel with a free subscription, and tune in for the next video. Bye.